So for our practice today, you can do this on the floor, on a carpeted floor or a rug, or you can do it on a hard floor with either an exercise mat or some folded blankets, spread out for a little extra cushioning. So if it's a hard surface floor, just make sure that you've got a little cushioning. You can also do this in your bed. So this practice works really nicely in your bed or on the floor. You may want to grab a few folded blankets. Any blankets around the house are fine. Just fold them nice and neatly and have smooth. Folded towels works really well. Or some nice pillows. So just any kind of decorative pillow on your bed or your couch can work really nicely for today's practice as well. So today's practice is about helping to let our worries go and to reset our breath. So we're going to start on our back. Make sure that you have your doctor's approval before doing any kind of exercise. You will need to be a little extra careful with your neck in today's practice. The first variations of the pose should be safe for your neck, but if you do have any neck issues, I'd be very cautious or maybe even avoid the second and third versions of the poses, but the first versions more than likely will be fine. You need to listen to your own body and do what feels appropriate to your body today at all times. So we're going to start on our back. Slide your hands at the back of the knees and lengthen through the tailbone. Relax your shoulders. We're going to exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, let the knees float away. Exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, let the knees float away. So exhale, bending the elbows. Breathing in, straightening the elbows. Continue this movement. This movement can feel really good first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed, if your back tends to be stiff. This is a nice, easy movement, and it releases the tension and tightness that we collect in our back muscles. And is also really good for our digestive system. So it can feel quite nice to your intestines. So this is version 1. Continue with version 1. Or you can gently practice rocking horse. So you're just rocking like a rocking horse. It can be very small movements, or you can start to make larger movements. Now, if you move into these larger movements, this is the movement where you're going to need to be extra careful with your neck. So this probably is not appropriate if you have any cervical spine issues. You want to stick with the first variation. So this pose, you're literally rocking your worries away. Doesn't that sound lovely? So letting go, releasing all your worries. Just let them rock right out of your body. And we're massaging the spine, massaging the back, and then relax all the way back down. So we're going to have our feet as close to our hips as it feels comfortable for the next pose. Lift all 10 toes temporarily and press down into your feet and lift your hips up. So if you have some back issues, you may only want to lift your hips up half an inch or an inch. But if you don't have any issues with your back, you're welcome to lift your hips up higher. Turn your palms up, have your hands wider. Keep your nose, your chin, your breastbone, your navel lined up. You can roll and tuck your shoulders underneath you. Again, remember that you can do these poses today in your bed or on the floor. This is called bridge pose. You want to keep the thighs parallel. If you have neck issues, you just will keep your hips a little lower. Now the second variation, if you can lift your hips up pretty high, the second variation of this pose, you can intertwine your fingers underneath you and roll and tuck the shoulders a little closer together. This is great neck stretch, releasing the tension and tightness that collects in our neck and your shoulders and feels really good. If you've been sitting for long periods of time or spending a lot of time at your computer or at your desk, relax your jaw, breathe in and out your nose, and release all the way back down, letting your spine just roll its way back down to the floor. So for the next one, we're going to practice supported bridge. Lift the toes, lift the hips, then relax the toes back down. You can put your hands on the back of your thighs, or you can tuck your hands up the back of the hips, but only if this feels good to your back. If it doesn't feel good to your back, don't do it. It's that simple. Or if you've got some blankets or pillows, you will take those blankets and pillows and just slide them up underneath your hips. So this could be 1 or 2 pillows, and it could be 1 or 2 folded blankets up underneath your hips. And then just let your hips rest on those blankets. You want your hips pretty flat and level. So avoid having your hips tilted like a ramp, like mine are right now. Instead, you want to lengthen through your tailbone, that's the very end of your spine. Lengthen through the end of your spine and let the end of your spine sink downward until the hips feel a little more level and flat on the blanket or pillow that your hips are resting on. And you can have those stacked pretty high. So if you want to have a couple of them stacked, that's fine. Again, you can have your arms out wide. You want your shoulders to be comfortable, and you want your shoulders to be down away from your ears. This is a nice heart-opening pose, so it helps to release the tension and tightness that we collect in the chest muscles. And it's a nice stretch for the neck and shoulders, because we can hold and carry a lot of stress in our neck and shoulders. So softening your eyes, softening your chin and your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your hips, and breathing in at your nose. Try to keep your thighs parallel. The knees are going to want to splay out, but keep your thighs parallel. Your big toes are about 6 to 8 inches apart. So your feet are not touching, they're a little bit apart, but not too wide either. So about 6 to 8 inches between the big toes. Slow, deep breaths in and out the nose. This is a restorative pose, so you could stay in this pose for 5, 10 minutes, whatever felt good to your body. This pose moves circulation toward the throat and can be very helpful for the thyroid and parathyroid. It's a great pose for helping to balance the hormones. And the hormones easily get out of balance, especially when we're stressed and anxious. This pose is a wonderful pose for resetting the nervous system, for calming and quietening the nervous system. Helping us to manage our stress. Because it is an inversion, we want to skip this pose if we have any glaucoma. So that's issues with our eyes and pressure. Be sure to check in with your doctor before any kind of exercise. This is to make sure it's appropriate for your body. And while you're practicing, checking in with your body, noticing the signals that your body's sending you. Your body knows best about what's appropriate for you today. All you have to do is listen. If it doesn't feel good, you can skip it. We're gonna press down on the feet, lift the hips up, and pull out our blanket or our pillows and put them back to the side. So for our next pose, you can do this at a wall or at a closed door. If you're in your bed, you might have to spin around and put your feet up on the headboard or your feet up on the wall. So what you'll do is just slide closer to the wall. Stretch your arm out away from you. And as you're curled up on your side, the top leg and arm, you're just going to lift those up and let them swing up the door or the wall or up on the headboard. And you have a few options. Your arms can be out in an A-line position. Your arms can be wide, or your arms can be in cactus arms. If your chin is higher than your forehead, you can put a small pillow, towel, or blanket under your head. Not too high. You don't want your head to be really high, but you do want your forehead to be slightly, just a tiny bit higher than your chin, so that your neck is comfortable. So this is legs at the wall pose. A great pose if you have any swelling in your feet or legs. And if you've been very active, so after a long walk, hike, or run, this can be great to flush the lactic acid out of your legs and just improve circulation in your legs altogether. So this is version 1 with your hips on the ground. Version 2, you can again, you elevate your hips just like we did in bridge pose. So you can use a blanket, a folded towel, or pillows. Lift your hips up and slide those underneath your hips. You could do 1 or 2, whatever felt good. Again, you can do 0, 1, or 2 pillows, towels, or blankets folded neatly and stacked underneath your hips. And just like bridge pose, we want the hips to sort of be a little flat. We don't want them to be tilted like a ramp. You want to flatten your hips out. Line up your nose, your chin, your breastbone, your navel. If your hamstrings are tight, then you'll need to slide a little further away from the wall. Slide far enough away from the wall that your hips can be down and flat. If your hamstrings are loose and flexible today, then you're welcome to have your hips touch the wall, the door, or the headboard. And just relaxing here, letting all the fluid just drain out of the legs. This is a great pose to practice when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when your mind is running really fast, like 1,000,000 miles per hour kind of sensation in your brain, and you want to quiet your thoughts. You want to calm your brain down to help you. So continue to relax here for as long as it feels comfortable. Relaxing all the muscles in your face, relaxing your shoulders. Softening and relaxing your jaw and your throat. To come out of the pose, you'll bend your knees and roll onto your side. Continue rolling and gently press your way up to seated. And work on down onto the belly. So option 1 is just to simply lie down on the belly with your arms in cactus. And you can be on your forehead, or you can turn your head to the side. If your forehead is not comfortable on the floor, then you may want to take a very small folded towel, blanket, or a pillow under your forehead So just under your forehead, not under your eyes or eyebrows. You're trying to keep the back of your neck nice and long. And in general, keeping your head not too much higher than your upper back. Another option you can have to make your belly and hips more comfortable is to put blankets, 1 or 2 blankets or folded towels underneath your hips and your belly, so that may make this pose more comfortable. You can have your arms in cactus with your elbows lined up with your shoulders and your elbows bent at 90 degrees. If this bothers your shoulders, then you can have your arms by your sides. If you do choose to turn your head to the side, in a few moments you want to make sure and turn your head to the other side. You want to broaden the back of your thighs and broaden the heels so your toes point a little bit toward one another. Remain on your belly. So for this breathing exercise, you'll remain on your belly and just get into as comfortable a position as you possibly can. The purpose of this breathing exercise on your belly is to reset the breath and thus reset the nervous system. So we're trying to observe and become familiar again with your own natural breath rhythm. That's the breath you were born with. You don't need to try to breathe a certain way right now. Just get comfortable, relax, and just be on your belly for a little while. Notice your breath moving in and out. It's that simple. Just noticing your breath flowing in and flowing out. Try to relax and soften your body as much as possible. When you do that, your natural breath rhythm will begin to emerge. It's probably already emerged. So let's bring our awareness to our belly without changing the way your belly is moving. Just feel your belly. For instance, notice even the smallest movement of the belly right now. You might notice that the belly presses into the floor as you breathe in, and that it softens against the floor as you breathe out. Notice that that's true for you. If you don't notice any movement of the belly, that's good to notice. That's just as important to notice that. Continue just to relax and breathe. Feeling any movement of the belly whatsoever. Notice how long your breath is. Notice how deep the breath is without changing it, just observing your breath. So if you are feeling movement of your belly right now, if you're feeling that the belly is expanding and pressing into the bed or the floor, the blankets right now when you breathe in, and you're feeling the belly sort of soften and relax as you breathe out, what you're experiencing is diaphragmatic breathing. And that's how we want to breathe the majority of our day. Our breath is meant to be flexible. It's meant to change depending on our circumstances and our activities. Our breath should change. When we do different activities, we breathe different, and that's normal. What happens often though is we become stressed. We get stuck in this stress pattern of breathing. And what we want to do is when the stress ends, we want to return to our natural breath rhythm, to the point where our natural breath rhythm is 80% of our day, and our stress breathing rhythms are only 20% or less of our day. And this is a simple yet powerful, effective breath exercise that you can do as often as you like throughout your week to reset your breath, to return to your natural breath rhythm and to become more familiar with your own natural breath rhythm. So more than likely what you're experiencing right now is that your breath has perhaps slowed down. It's become maybe a little longer, a little deeper. You're using your diaphragm to breathe with, so you're experiencing diaphragmatic breathing. Just feel that, experience that. Familiarize yourself with your breath. You're resetting your breath, you're resetting your nervous system. And that's what we need after a stressful day or week or year. We need to reset and relax once again. So try this breathing exercise as often as you like throughout the week. It's as simple as just lying down on your belly and getting comfortable. Try to do the cactus arm position when you can, because we don't normally walk around like this, and it resets what our muscles are doing in our neck and shoulders. So it helps to release some of that neck and shoulder tension that's causing a stressful breathing pattern. So if you can put your arms in cactus, as long as that's comfortable to your particular shoulder, then I encourage you to do that so that your neck and your shoulders will relax. And just observe how your belly is moving as you breathe. Now that you're experiencing your natural breath rhythm, you want to take that breath into the rest of your day. And you want to reset, return to your natural breath rhythm as often as you can throughout your day. So take 2, 5, 10 minutes as often as you can throughout your week. Lie on your belly and just observe your breath. It's that simple, but it is powerful, it is effective at resetting the nervous system and helping you with stress.